Hello again, and well, sorry this took so long. Life happened. Um, yeah, and frankly, after a few weeks, I kind of figured that everyone probably had stopped caring about the original Euclideon video, but then I checked back in and discovered that for some reason it still seems to be attracting comments. So I figured that since I did say I would post a follow-up after looking at the live demo, I might as well put my money where my mouth is. I apologize also for the surroundings. As some of you no doubt have noticed, I'm not the most tidy person. However, at least this time I am in front of an actual computer, as opposed to sitting on the floor in front of a TV with a webcam attached. Anyway, I have since seen the demo. I have also done some independent research on my own, and yeah, frankly, what I found, it's not too surprising. Most of you have probably already figured this out. Yeah, the Euclidean technology is basically just a voxel renderer. Voxels are, well, it's an alternative to polygons that have been around for quite a long time. Several post-production studios have been using them for TV and movie quality effects for quite some time because they are very good at representing things like smoke and water that traditionally polygons are horrible at. And yeah, they're basically, as others have noted, voxels typically represent color information in the geometry, which kind of gets me to my first point. A lot of people are kind of holding this up as something that overcomes the memory usage problem because it stores the texture in the geometry, and they come to the conclusion somehow that that means that the texture is not taking up as much space. This is not actually the case. In fact, if anything, it will take up more space. Because, well, when it comes right down to it, if you're going to represent image data in a computer, it is going to ultimately take up exactly as much space as it takes to well, basically define the color for each pixel in the image. And for most images these days, that's going to be at least 1080 pixels high by usually 1920 across. Maybe I can't quite remember if it's 16 something for if you perchance still have one of those old 4:3 aspect ratio monitors, but regardless, it's a lot of data, especially since usually color information is going to take at least 32 bits per pixel. And yeah, the thing is, with a texture map, you have the advantage of, you have the useful data and any geometry that doesn't actually require texturing, and admittedly there's not much, but there's often one or two little bits that they don't have to have the textures loaded for or whatever. Now they do, because they just have to store zero values. So yeah, you're really not saving any memory there. The other thing that I've been hearing a lot is compression. Once again, compression, yeah, it can cut down on space, but it also destroys quality. Just take a high-definition video in YouTube and crank this quality down, to 280, and you're going to see what I mean. You're going to get a lot of blockiness, and yeah, there are some algorithms you can use to try to rebuild the data that you lose when you compress an image, but they really do not look nearly good enough to, to be using in a modern game. Once again, several others have pointed this out. The demo, it looks like they overcame the memory issues in the demo by using a tiled map, where basically they just took, they built up a few bits of geometry and then just repeated them ad nauseum. That's a clever solution to the problem of, presenting a large landscape. The thing is, it's not really going to work for games, because unless you play some really boring games, you're going to need some really large maps. These days, gamers expect a lot of variety. They expect areas to look distinct from each other. Admittedly, often companies fail, but they usually get taken to task for that, and this really would not help in any way. That said, obviously they have something that works. And, well, I mean, when it comes right down to it, do the math, there is no way a modern computer, even a pretty powerful one, short of some massive server, is going to have enough RAM to be able to store the geometry in memory. I mean, even just storing it on even hard drive space, we're looking at high-end servers to be able to store the amount of data that Euclideon claims, and it's quite possible that that's what they're running them on. And I do think it's more than likely, in fact, even probable, that in the future, home computers will have that kind of power. If anything, history has shown us that computing technology tends to grow in leaps and bounds. That said, that would really make this technology more of an investment anticipating future technological breakthroughs rather than a breakthrough in and of itself. Everything I have found and everything I have seen suggests that really Euclideon is not doing anything particularly groundbreaking here. Yes, they've no doubt refined a lot of technologies. It's definitely one of the, how to put it, faster voxel rendering systems out there. But I just still don't see any possible way this could run on most modern hardware. So, I don't know, give it 5 years and yeah, maybe everything will be running with voxel graphics and it'll be awesome. But once again, I just don't see this working right now. And frankly, it astonishes me that so many of you are so invested in it. But yeah, frankly, I really have no malice against Euclideon, despite what some of you may think. Now that I've discovered that there is actually, some legitimate work being done, I, to be honest, just find it kind of funny that their marketing department has done such an amazing job of overselling the product. But yeah, I just really don't see how there's any reason to be all that invested in it. But anyway, so yeah, there's my 2 cents. Hope this satisfied some of you. And if not, well, I shall sit back and laugh at the numerous people who, well, I don't know. Feel free to critique my beard, perhaps. Anyway, that's all. Good night.